Hi, I'm Heather.
And this is Jax.
Welcome to Ask AI. Ask AI is a podcast dedicated to artificial intelligence. Finding out what artificial intelligence even means. We're going to learn as we go.
Let's talk AI. Hey listeners, so today we're so excited to have Gladstone Grant with us. Gladstone heads up national solution sales here at Microsoft Canada. They're one of the biggest contributors to the community here in the country, one of the key centers of technology happening in Canada. And it's actually over a $2.5 billion business in the country. So really excited to have him here today. Gladstone plays the dual role of also being the lead of Microsoft's technology centers. There's 4 locations across the country, and we're so excited to have him here with us today on the Ask AI podcast. Gladstone, welcome.
Thank you. It's amazing. I'm honored to be here and looking forward to the dialogue.
Amazing. Well, first off, why don't we start with an easy question? Why don't you just tell us a bit more about the work that you do day to day at Microsoft?
Yeah, absolutely. I get to lead. I actually have the best job at Microsoft Canada, in my opinion. Really get to lead our innovation agenda with our customers and partners. We've got these 4 technology centers, Microsoft Technology Centers, MTCs, for any of you who have been out there before. And our mandate's really to engage with anyone that's leveraging Microsoft solutions and technologies and help them to take advantage of this digital transformation that we all find ourselves in these days. We engage across all the different solution areas that Microsoft provides to businesses and to customers and to startups. And we help them with strategy. We help them with architecture and design sessions. We do proof of concepts. We do hackathons, whatever is required to make digital transformation real and to help them accelerate any initiative or projects that they're working on.
That's incredible. It's like all-purpose Microsoft.
Yeah.
What do you think is particularly just the environment, the atmosphere of those centers? What's in them?
Yeah, so, they're kind of leading edge state-of-the-art centers that have the latest and greatest in technologies. Technologies from a cloud perspective, IoT sensors, IoT hubs, artificial intelligence demos and infrastructure. We have HoloLens. Mixed reality is obviously a very exciting era for us right now, and we see a lot of companies and organizations leveraging this new trend, so we've got that available. When you walk through, there's a number of different rooms that very similar actually to 111 here, where it's a very collaborative space. It's a very immersive space. We have, examples of experiences that our customers and partners could play with, could touch, could get familiar with. We have facilitated walkthroughs that the team will do. We have a space that they could come in and hack. So it's just a communal kind of space. It's leading edge. It's state of the art. And here's a cool thing about what we do. There's not a cent that we charge our customers or partners to use this. This is free. Wow. So at any point in time, if you've got a project, an initiative, a solution that you're creating, and you want a place to kind of go make that real, that's what we offer. We engage with probably about 10,000 customers and partners on an annual basis across the country. And we actually do a little survey of everyone that we do an engagement with. And one of the things I'm really proud of is the fact that with 9 being the perfect score that you can get, the top score, we're now averaging 8.72 out of 9. So our customers, our partners, our startups, they get significant value from the work that we do with them.
That's incredible. I mean, full disclosure, my work in Edge AI, I know that we power our AI platform on Microsoft Azure, and that's the cloud system that we use. I'm really interested to see that Microsoft's taken a lot bigger steps, in particular in the last couple of years, of supporting AI companies as customers and as partners, as well as also AI development itself. I was wondering if you could talk a bit more about the company's position specifically on artificial intelligence and how you're supporting that with the work that you do.
Absolutely, yeah. Today is actually a special day for me at Microsoft. My team embarrassed me today with a beautiful cake. So I had cake for lunch.
It's your birthday?
And it's not my birthday. It's actually today is my 20th year anniversary.
Oh, man. Wow.
Sorry, guys, the best company on the planet. Today is my 20th anniversary. So, I'm honored. So I've had a chance to see a lot. Not as long as Microsoft's been around, but certainly, from the early beginnings. And I remember being a part of the early mission when we were launching back then Windows 98. And, if you remember the mission of the company back then, when Bill Gates started Microsoft, was to really put a PC on every desk and in every home. And, frankly, I think we've probably achieved that mission. And many of the listeners out there would probably understand that, you do have in every office and in every home a PC. And when Satya Nadella took over as the CEO of Microsoft a few years back, he actually changed the mission of Microsoft, tweaked it a bit, given that we'd essentially realized before that previous mission. And it really is about empowering every organization and every person on this planet to achieve more. Now think about that. AI is at the center of everything that we think about this digital transformation, how we really help organizations. All that data that is being collected by organizations. How do you reason? How do you understand? How do you make sense of going from data to intelligence, to insights, and ultimately into action? How do you leverage that data that you have today to really predict the future? To help to drive your business and take it to the next level. And so Microsoft, in the same way we democratized, client server and PC and LANs when I first started at the company, where before all you can get computing from mainframes and green screens. And we're able to democratize having all organizations quickly get up and running. We did that. We also democratized the idea of the e-commerce and the internet sites that we're able to help customers with. If you think of that trend, we did the same thing with cloud. We did the same thing with business intelligence. And today, it's an exciting time because Microsoft's vision around artificial intelligence is really around amplifying human ingenuity by democratizing AI and making it available to every company, every developer, every startup, and every person on the planet. And so there's a number of things that we're doing. We're leading in a number of areas around innovation. We're driving significant innovation, things like speech recognition, where we're at parity or better than human beings, whether it's machine learning comprehension and some of the work that we've done, the research we've done, years of research by Microsoft Research to get to the point where we're at parity of understanding. You think of the impact that could have. And then you think of the work that we're doing to really ensure that we provide the right services so that customers could leverage and not have to go out and hire all these these scientists, data scientists, but really leverage the platform that we're building out. If you think of it in our Azure platform, some of the innovation and services that we provide around machine learning and the ability to kind of create experiments and make sense of that data. You think of the cognitive services and ability to have machines hear, learn, feel. You think of also the bot framework, allowing you to build great bots. And so, I'm thrilled about the work that you guys have done in Nudge AI and leveraging our platform to have such an innovative solution that our customers or mutual customers can enjoy. So, if I summarize, Microsoft is really at the leading front of driving the innovation. We provide those services in our platform and the infrastructure to help our customers and startups like yourself to continue to build out. And then there's one piece of it that we take very, very seriously. It's the whole ethics and responsibility around artificial intelligence. And so not only do we invest in, building out the infrastructure and providing the services, we're working with government organizations. We're working with regulatory bodies across the world to ensure that our principles of trust are embedded in these solutions that are going to be created. Not only things like transparency and privacy and compliance and security, but fairness and inclusivity. In fact, one of the things that Microsoft did recently was we actually formed this internal council that we have a diverse group of individuals on this council to make sure that we're looking at any AI solutions we create from different angles to really make sure that we're driving that inclusion and fairness throughout what we're doing.
That's incredible. And one question I had, coming from the startup sector, certainly we're working on a number of different pieces in AI. I wonder what you think that a corporation like Microsoft is particularly good at doing in artificial intelligence development, what you think startups might be better at doing right now.
That's a great question. When you think about the fact that we've built out this platform, oftentimes what we do, and if you think of the history of Microsoft and how we became the company, the enterprise company that we are today with a lot of our customers, it's because partners and startups like yourself have leveraged our platform. If you go back to way back when we had Windows NT or, early versions of Windows, startups, ISVs like yourself built solutions on top of that platform to help with industry, to help with different various, kind of business requirements that our customers have. And frankly, it's the same thing that's happening today when you think about the platform we've built out. The time to market for you to be able to go to, to get your solution ready. You don't have to go out and, provision a data center and get all the equipment set up and figure out all these different services. We've created a lot of the APIs and then you build on top of that. And so, I think there's a perfect marriage, if you will, between an organization like Microsoft and startups who want to get to market quickly, who have specific knowledge in certain areas that they want to bring to customers. And frankly, that is a model at Microsoft. It's a partner-led model. In fact, here in Canada, we look at the amount we invest with startups and we invest with partners. And for every dollar of Microsoft product, we're driving about $20 in the partner ecosystem to be able to further the Canadian digital economy. And we see that as a perfect marriage and a platform within which partners and startups like yourself could leverage to be able to take us to the next level and truly drive this transformation. That's really exciting.
I guess I'm wondering as well, the broader trends that you see in this industry, what do you find interesting right now?
There's a bunch of things that are happening. When you think about artificial intelligence, there's really, three things that have come together. That is three confluence of activities that really has got us to the tipping point of why now and why AI is really real. Because as we know, AI has been around for the last 50 plus years and research has been done on this. 20 plus years ago when I was in school, we're talking about that. Now it's here, it's real today. Three things. One is, that trend of cloud and the work that Microsoft has done to build out with, over 200 plus consumer and commercial cloud services across the world. That's propelling it. So the computing power is now there. Mm-hmm. Secondly, it's the data. You hear the conversation on data is really that new currency, right? If you think of the data that you're collecting about your customers, the data that is available externally in different sources, there's enough data because there's really that yin and yang of data and AI. Without data, really, AI doesn't have anything to really move forward with. And so data is there, right? That's a second aspect of it. And then thirdly, it's the powerful work that's been done by companies like Microsoft and startups and other researchers around algorithms, these powerful algorithms that are now ready for prime time that we could leverage across different areas, different industries. And so those three factors together make it today, those three trends, if you will, make it the perfect time for every organization on the planet and every person to start leveraging AI to achieve more.
Amazing. And I wanted to go a bit back to your personal career. You mentioned congratulations on your 20th anniversary, Microsoft.
Thank you.
That's an incredible.
It's exciting, but I'm also getting old.
Yeah. Oh, man. I was wondering more specifically, what your broader career story is there. And also if you could maybe speak a little more specifically to, you talked about some of the technological transformations that you've seen. I was wondering about the cultural changes that you've seen over your time there, particularly in the last maybe 4 or 5 years, and sort of your story and all of that and how you feel it's going.
Yeah, absolutely. 20 years ago when I started at Microsoft Canada, I was a consultant. So I was doing a lot of consulting with our enterprise customers, helping them to move from one operating system to another, help them with applications development. I work with a couple of the big banks. When they moved from OS2 to Windows, I was one of the consultants kind of leading those multi-million-dollar projects. That was exciting. Learned a lot, some late nights, but it was amazing. And I talk about trends then being kind of around client server. And that was a big kind of push that was happening. And then now that the internet became popular shortly afterwards and helped customers to kind of move a lot of that platform, if you will, to a commerce platform. And so that was another wave that kind of happened afterwards. And then we went through this whole phase around applications. Mobile became popular, and we started creating applications that were mobile. And Microsoft has always been the best platform to create to develop solutions. And so we rode the wave on ensuring that developers across the world could create applications and deploy on any platform, whether it's Windows or iOS or Android. And certainly afterwards it was the cloud. The cloud kind of came very popular, and certainly we were pioneers on the cloud. IoT took off, and going back to the story on data, part of the reason why there's so much data out there is that it's no longer just humans creating data. It's devices. Every device is creating data, and that data you could leverage for predictive analytics. You could leverage to remote monitor. Exciting. And so we're going through that wave, and today we're in AI. So I've had a chance to really help our customers and truly engage with pretty much most, if not all, enterprise customers here in Canada on that wave. Now, you go back to culturally how things have changed. Things have changed significantly. There's a few things that have popped out for me. If I go back 20 years ago and Microsoft back then, I think of our work with open source community and embracing open source, I'd say 20 years ago was not even close to where it is today. Today, Microsoft embraces and honors and treats open source as a first-class citizen on our platforms, whether it's our on-premise or in our cloud, right? So irrespective of what you run, we know customers leverage open source. We'll say, bring it, we're running on our platform. So there's a huge, huge change that's happened there, and it's definitely the right direction to go. If you look at also the services that we provide, the cloud services that we provide, it really, 20 years ago, we were probably focused more on a Microsoft world, that vertically integrated stack of Microsoft and a client, Microsoft in the middle tier, Microsoft everywhere. And now what we do is the services we provide, again, works across all different operating systems, right? If you look on the iPhone you're running, on an iOS device, or whichever device, operating systems you're running, we have now provided. We give you the same benefits and capabilities that our customers love and like. They're now running. So again, culturally, we think about different agreements that we have, or different partnerships that we have with companies that you think were competition. And so it is that world of co-opetition. Sometimes we compete in some areas, but we double down on partners. So culturally, we've changed that way. And the big change that we've had in our culture is the transformation that each of us are all going through with the cloud, going from on-prem to the cloud. Before, we would just sell product. We'll sell a packaged product, and we ship out a number of CDs like 20 years ago. And, someone would own that CD and would move on to the next customer. The relationship is really changing in this new cloud world. Culturally, every role now is truly a trusted advisor with the customer. We don't just sell something and walk away. We position the value of the solution. We stay with them to ensure that they're getting full value. Because frankly, it's the right thing to do. But also, if the customer is not consuming your services, it's not the same as when you sell shrink product and you get revenue. You only get revenue when you consume. So it's in our best interest. It's that shared responsibility we have to ensure that our customers are getting the best value and leveraging. So those are kind of three shifts I've seen in the culture. Now, let me just add another thing too. Having 20 years of seeing what's happening, there's been different times, right? And there are times when you look at the stock price, and if you kind of go back and look at the history, the stock price got, likely stayed at a certain, dollar value for quite some time. And, one of the great things I love about our new CEO and what he's done kind of coming the last few years is given Microsoft really good clarity on some of the things that we should focus on, right? And certainly that's helped, right? Very clear focus areas, understanding our strengths, working with organizations, providing value, not trying to do everything to everyone, but really doubling down. That's really helped. The other thing he brought in that's really changed the culture too is this idea of a growth mindset. Right? Growth mindset is about, hey, you've got to always be learning. You're never the expert. You always got to continue to learn. You've got to, fail fast. You have to, what are the lessons learned? How do you move forward? You have to collaborate well together. You got to be creative, entrepreneurial. You got to take that entrepreneurial view of your business. And even though it's a large company, you're empowered really to think about how you take your business to the next level. And so that growth mindset has really changed the culture of the organization. And those are some of the things that I think about cultural change, and which, it's funny, 20 years later, I have not for a second thought about working for another company because, we just constantly evolve and change and are very self-critical to make ourselves move forward.
That's incredible, Gladstone. It's a real privilege to have all that expertise and be able to bring it to bear just in this conversation. So the last question I had for you was around startups, which you mentioned a lot about how you want to support that. I mean, both through your platform as well as the work that you're doing with the Microsoft Technology Centers. How can startups engage with you and potentially get help?
That's a great question. When you reached out to be on this podcast, it was perfect timing. because I was just talking to my boss about as we go into next year and we're going into the planning for next fiscal year that starts July 1st and kind of Microsoft self-critical, always changing, always evolving. I thought our Microsoft Technology Centers have given significant value to our enterprise customers. But you and I know very well that innovation is happening in a lot of cases by startups. And in fact, there's a whole reciprocal mentorship that's happening between startups and enterprise organizations where they're bringing great innovation to the table. The enterprise organizations are, helping to mentor the startups, and startups are then mentoring in different ways of how work's being done. Like even walking through this office, how work's done here versus how it was done 20 years ago, how that's evolving. And so one of the things I want to do, because I have an amazing asset. I have an amazing asset with the technology innovation labs, if you will, that's there to be leveraged. I have great asset in the facilities that are there, in the team that has significant knowledge about all the things that Microsoft provide. And one of the things I'd love to do is tap into the startup market on a couple fronts. One is to ultimately make it accessible for them. And, there's a startup that's built on our platform that have great solutions that lights up our platform that customers really love. The first thing I want to do is I want to showcase that to the 10,000 plus customers that go through. So we would love to get any demos, any experiences, any cool things that you have built on our platform. We would love to profile it to the customers that walk through. Mm-hmm. The benefit for you in that case would be, hey, you get more eyeballs on that solution. The other benefit of having your solution profiled, showcased within Microsoft Technology Centers is, we know sometimes for startups, you struggle initially with some of the larger companies to get that credibility. They don't know who you are. They're not really sure, et cetera.
Even if you got the best product.
Even if you got the best product, right? And, frankly, companies know about Microsoft, right? And so how do you piggyback and leverage that relationship and credibility, you and Microsoft together going to market? There's a lot of benefit for that, right? And so that's what I want to be able to tap into and offer to the startup community. The other piece is, hey, sometimes you want to have a meeting and, you just want to be able to show that, hey, I'm working closer with the vendor who you also use. Mm-hmm. And why not leverage our facilities across the country to be able to have that meeting? You could just say, hey, Gladstone, I'd love to come out and just use your spot. I don't need your architects or your team involved. Or you may decide, hey, just come and use the facilities,
That's awesome.
Right? Or you could say, hey, I'd love to jointly present to that customer, our joint value proposition. I'll focus on my area, my solution that I've created, and you could help to tell the other part of the story, if you will. And so, what a great picture of you with Microsoft, startup of Microsoft, presenting a joint value proposition to the customer, right? So those are kind of three and a half ways that you could leverage and use the Microsoft Technology Center. There's zero cost associated with that. It's funny.
It's incredible.
I was having a conversation I was at the Gartner CIO Summit last week, and I met a number of folks. And one CIO that we followed up with afterwards, he wanted to engage with us. And I just the meeting before here, we were having a conversation. I told him all the things we could do to help. And he's like, okay, Gladstone, how much is that going to cost? And I jokingly said to him, there's a lot of zeros in what this is going to cost.
It's all zeros.
But that's all zeros. And he was shocked. Wow, you're actually giving away a free service. And
that's
not,
awesome.
It's the investment that Microsoft makes because we think this is important. Yep. We think it's important to help our customers and our partners, and I'm extending this now to startups where we can jointly work together. We can help you with understanding if you're moving into a new area and understanding Microsoft solutions, we can help to enable you. Mm-hmm. We can help to showcase your solutions. We can help to jointly co-sell with our mutual customers. And so there's significant value out there for you. And all you got to do is find me on LinkedIn, Gladstone Grant. Just reach out, just ping me a note and say, hey, I would love to leverage the Technology Center. I'll pick up the phone. I'll give you a quick little call, understand what you're trying to achieve, and make it happen. Right?
There you guys have it. If you're a startup and you want to get engaged with Microsoft and have all these amazing opportunities, reach out to Gladstone on LinkedIn. Yeah. Gladstone, we've got one last fun question.
Yeah.
What do you like to do for fun? You're a pretty cool guy.
Ooh, yes. What do I like to do for fun? My number one fun is my 3 kids. They're, love of my life, and my wife, beautiful wife. And, we have a lot of fun, right? It's funny. Yes, I just sent my wife a text on everything that we're doing tomorrow. Starts off in the morning. I'm going to let her sleep in. I'm going to get up with the kids.
Good plan.
I'm going to take my son to soccer. After soccer, we're going to come back. We're all going to get dressed. We're going to go to one of our friends next door, their kid's birthday party. We're going to do that for an hour and 15 minutes because we have to come back to get the kid to go to nap, and then we have to take off to another party in Trinidad Bellwoods Park that we're going to do another birthday party with some other friends. Then we're going to go home. My wife, who also works at Microsoft too, by the way, her team, they have a barbecue, so we're going to go to that for an hour and a half. Then we're going to come home. We're going to get showered and dressed up and look good and go to a nice party in the evening for a friend's 40th birthday. That's an average day in the Grant household. That's what we do. So we have a lot of fun with the kids.
Have a full
when
agenda
I'm not with
tracked in Microsoft Outlook.
Exactly. When the family goes to sleep at night, 9, 10 o'clock, I play soccer. I play soccer a couple times a week. I play tennis. Just keep active and have fun because you got to make the best of it. Yeah.
That is amazing. Gladstone Grant, everyone, thank you so much for being here on the show with us today on the Ask AI podcast. We're looking forward to your comments, all on the hashtag Ask AI. Thanks so much for joining us here with Gladstone Grant from Microsoft.
Jackson, really appreciate the opportunity, buddy, and thank you. And really looking forward to see all you startups out there at the Microsoft Technology Center. Just reach out, Gladstone Grant, and LinkedIn, and I'd love to engage with you. Thank you.
This episode's associate producer was Francesca Awotundun, senior producer was Mike Letourneau, and executive producer was Chris McClellan. Interview recorded by Robin Edgar. Ask AI includes this podcast, a helpful chatbot, and live events. For more information, please visit our website at askai.org. Do you have questions about artificial intelligence and workplace automation? We'd love to help answer them. Send your queries to podcast@askai.org or tweet to askai.org.